Welcome to Brake Check. I'm Craig, and there's Brian. And today we're driving a Sonata 2020 SEL Plus. What are you, dude? We're trying to review. What are you doing?
What color is this?
It's glowing yellow. What's your problem? Welcome to Brake Check. I'm Craig,
And I'm Brian.
and today we're reviewing a
Very, very yellow Hyundai Sonata.
glowing yellow Hyundai Sonata SEL Plus. All right, so we're on a 2020 Sonata SEL Plus.
Plus, do we know what the Plus does?
The Plus does do a lot of things. It adds, it's basically almost a package group.
It's like a package group or is it a trim level? So SEL is a trim level and Plus is like an equipment group.
Well, yes, but it's also considered a trim level.
Okay.
So as Plus is kind of like the value edition of other cars and stuff. So
Okay.
you get the leather wrapped steering wheel, you get the digital instrument cluster,
Which is a nice touch.
You get rear AC,
Which is a very nice touch.
USB port in the back for the
Yep.
kids, chargers. You know, they all want that stuff. So, but what kind of color is this?
This is Monkey Barf Yellow.
Officially known as glowing yellow.
I'm sorry, glowing yellow.
Yes, glowing
Yes.
yellow, but you call it monkey barf.
It's just what comes to mind.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
comes to mind. I mean, look at it.
Yeah.
Now, it is different.
It's different. You know, it's interesting. When this car was first launched a few months ago, this was like the main color they used. This was the color that was
This
in
is
all
the
the
promo-
press photos,
promo
all
color.
the promo
Yeah.
colors. Yeah, it's a launch color. So I think
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting that when I see one, I'm a little bit turned off by it, to be honest.
But you notice it?
But I noticed it.
Yes.
And it's made me recognize the car more than I normally would.
Right.
So if this is just black or gray, it's just a sedan. And this color, I mean, look, let's be honest, we're making fun of it, but color is a subjective choice. It's like
Absolutely.
styling.
Absolutely.
So we can't tell you what's right or wrong.
No.
It's just personally, I don't know that I would buy this color, but I do admire this color.
I will say this, I did not like this color at first, and when I see it driving around, I initially was like,
Ooh,
But as we've been driving this around today,
I'm less annoyed by
I have
it.
to say this color's grown on me a little
Me
bit.
too.
I don't know that I'd get it still, but it's less offensive
Okay.
to me as we've gone on.
While
gone
we're
on.
here, let's start exterior. Let's get into it.
Okay, yeah, so exterior. Good or bad? Go ahead.
Good.
Good, okay? What do you mean?
Good to me because they tried.
They did
Okay?
try.
This is a mid-size sedan, and now I recently drove the Kia K5, which is the same chassis as this. It's a sister car or brother car to this. Hats off to Hyundai. Hats off to Kia.
Check that review out right here.
Here, yeah, they're really trying. Okay, so whether you like the styling of this car or not, and admittedly it's quite polarizing, whether you like it or not,
And
you
isn't
have
that the
to
thing,
admire that it's been styled.
isn't that the thing about style in general? I'm no
We're not
expert.
designers. Yeah,
we're not designers. We're not engineers, not designers. We can pretend to be all day long.
right.
but
We're
not.
professional car nerds.
But it does seem to me that anything with quote unquote style is always a little controversial.
Sure. Well,
I think of the 3 Series when it came out with the Bangle design. Remember?
Yeah, I do. Let's forget that era.
Okay,
please.
well, let's move on from that.
But as a point, it is subjective, so it's in the eye of the beholder. It's kind of like saying someone's significant other is attractive or not. It's up to that person, not up
Yeah.
to you. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, and you got to be careful who you're talking to.
Completely. So I will say, this car looks a little bit like a is it bottom feeder? What kind of fish would that be?
A catfish?
Catfish. That's what comes to mind. Comment below. Let us know what kind of fish you think this looks like. But I will say, the more I look at it, the more I like it.
Here's what I would say about the exterior. I think the Sonata is has more style.
Okay.
I think the K5 looks better, personally.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can't argue with that. So, you brought up a good point earlier when we were talking on the way out here. You mentioned that in years past, Hyundai and Kia has been the greatest at copying,
Yes.
right? And I counterpointed with they might be the greatest at being competitive. Okay, so there's a variance there.
Yeah.
So, aesthetically, this is the first Sonata that is truly original.
Agreed.
Much to
Agreed.
what you just said, this is not mimicking anything else. This
No,
looks
it's not.
nothing like an Accord.
It is its own thing.
Altima, Optima, K5.
They've hit the reset button
Camry, yeah.
on the mid-size, large-size cars.
They started over.
Now the other competitors have to, what is Hyundai doing versus Hyundai
Exactly.
going, what is everybody
And
else
this
doing?
is the first time that's happened.
Yes, agreed.
Okay, now the same theme goes to copying features. You recently had time in a new Accord,
Yes.
and you were telling me how many features reminded you of that. So what were some of those features?
So watching your K5 review, driving this today, I've recently spent some time on an Accord. We didn't get a chance to review that, but it's pretty fresh in my mind. I feel like Honda set the bar as far as interiors go.
Okay.
That is still the biggest. It's got the most space, the back room.
Well, hang on, stop really real quick. Honda is the current reigning champ of the maximum amount of usable space per exterior dimension of car. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, you look at the actual dimensions and you're like, it can't be that much bigger. It doesn't seem like it's that much bigger. But then you get in it, and I don't know how Honda does it. It feels so much bigger.
Right.
Not that this feels small.
No, but I think it's a fair point, though. The backseat of the current Accord is bigger than this.
Yes.
Or at least it feels bigger to me. Now, the headroom is comparable, but just saying.
Okay, interior.
Woohoo! Now,
Styling gets a little more livable, clean, conservative in the interior. What do you think?
I'll agree. So what's interesting to me is that as bold as the exterior is, the interior is incredibly livable, incredibly mature.
Yes.
Well put together.
But very smart.
Very smart. Everything is kind of where it needs to be.
Yeah.
I do have one complaint, which I think you're about to bring up. My knee hits this shifter.
Okay.
Continually.
Okay, yes. So this shifter, in general, we both like...
I have no problem with a push-button shifter. It's fine.
You talked about the T-handle on the K5. Yes, looks like a Trans Am.
Looks like a Trans Am.
Can we just get rid of sideway button T-handle?
It's just silly.
Just silly. Stop it. Just stop it.
This is cleaner. It's less in the way of the console itself.
I like it. Yeah, there's more room.
Yeah.
So I feel like you get more interior space.
But you brought up a good point about this.
But this little shifter, as clean as it should be, you should be able to put it anywhere.
It's still kind of bulky.
Hits your knee a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. Now, the passenger side, I feel like I have a ton of room up here.
Yeah.
I've got no knee bumping issues, no issues. Driving this, though, my knee was bumping that, and that would drive me nuts.
But I am 100% for a push-button drive.
Completely.
I mean,
they should put it right there.
Just put it on the dash. Put it on the dial. Yeah. Get it out of the way.
Let's just get it out there. People like to complain about the rotary dial shifters and that kind of stuff. It just doesn't bother me.
There's nothing wrong with it.
I've never had a problem with them.
What do you think about the tachometer reverse tachometer? So it's really neat. I think it's neat. The speedometer goes like this. The tachometer goes like that. So they go like this.
Which is an Aston Martin thing.
It's very symmetrical. It's an Aston Martin thing, yes. I think it's awesome. What do you think?
I think the tach should be on the left.
I agree with that.
It's just, it's ingrained in me, the tach should be on the left, speed on the right. I don't really know why, but I just prefer it that way.
Yeah.
That being said, I think the cluster is awesome. And I'm not a fan of digital clusters. I've said time and time again, give me a dial, give me a dial, give me a dial.
Agreed.
An analog dial.
Agreed.
Especially on performance cars.
Yeah.
On a car like this looks really good. The resolution is good.
The resolution is sharp. I have no problem with this.
As a person who doesn't... Look, I don't like digital clusters. I have no complaints on this one.
Have we mentioned wireless charging?
We have not.
Wireless. It's got the wireless charging. It works well.
Yep.
Android Auto, which is what everybody wants. I know why anyone would use Apple CarPlay,
which is all you ever need. Now, something I would say, a variance between the K5, at least the K5 I drove in this one, this does not have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Either one. You have to have it plugged in.
Yes.
Which is fine to me. I don't have a problem with that. But the Kia K5 had wireless, but did not have wireless charging.
Yeah, that is interesting.
That level of K5.
Yeah.
They will have it down the road, but this one, that one did not.
Yeah.
It's more refined than you expect for a Korean car.
Yeah.
Which people, again, I said this in the K5 review. If you're going to poo-poo on a Kia or a Hyundai,
stop it.
Just go drive a current one. Or one from 5 years ago. It's not what you drove 20 years ago. Not the same thing.
Yeah, you're just wrong.
It's just a lack of knowledge. Look, you're ignorant if you're thinking that. If you haven't driven one recently.
Yeah.
Stocks have the same diamond design in them that you have in the center caps and the wheels and the grille.
Yes.
So they've tied in some design elements.
I love how they've tied in. Yeah, the diamond little design element is on the center caps.
Yep.
The stock, the grille.
Yep.
It looks great. It looks really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Oh, and a little, right here.
On all the dials too. They've got on the. It's like a different type of knurl on the dials.
Yeah, it looks
pretty
really
interesting.
good. So, all right, interior's great.
Okay, with the switch.
The switch. Time for dynamics.
Hang on, sport mode.
Hit it.
Boost. 5,500. Bring it back down.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it fast?
No.
No. Is it slow?
Kind of, but not. I don't know. Well, here's my take.
I wouldn't say it's slow.
I wouldn't say it's slow. I just like the K5, it is adequate. I'm going to take it out of sport mode because I don't quite know why you would need it. To me, that's not sport mode.
It's in custom.
Normal.
Custom.
All right.
At least the gauges change.
The gauges look
That's
really
pretty
good
cool.
when you do that.
I like to change modes just to see the gauges change.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
I don't think anything happens. It holds gears a little bit longer. The steering feels, I can't tell it getting different.
Yeah, I can't
between the two.
either.
But we're not pushing this car very hard either. So, okay. My thought on the powertrain of this vehicle is that
What does it have first?
it has a 1.6 liter turbo 4-cylinder,
Okay.
180 horsepower,
Yes.
195 foot-pounds of torque.
It's not bad. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
The
Respectable
torque's really
numbers.
good torque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where it really strives. It has an 8-speed auto.
Mhm.
It does not feel like a CVT to me.
Yeah. I
it's-
think the 8-speed's pretty good in this.
The 8-speed's pretty good, yeah.
Other than it shifts too early.
That's okay. I mean, that's programming.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll say the same thing with this car that I did about the K5. I wish I could get a bigger displacement, naturally aspirated 4-cylinder.
You can.
Thank goodness.
In the Sonata, you can get the 2.5 4-cylinder.
Which is awesome.
Which makes almost the reverse, about 197 horsepower
Right.
and 180 pound-feet of torque.
Which is just a delivery of power that I prefer.
Yes.
Now, it's going to be faster. It's probably slower than this, but it's
have no
going to
idea.
feel faster.
Sure.
Because, for example, one of my pet peeves in this car is the tach red lines at 6,500 RPM.
Mm-hmm. But it shifts at
58 no matter what you do.
no matter what you do.
Doesn't matter what
Sport
motor you're in.
mode,
Doesn't matter if you
shifting.
hold it with
Yeah.
paddles. It will
Yeah.
shift on its own.
Yep.
And I get it. It's a small turbo, small displacement, and it just runs out of steam up high.
But then don't make your tax say 6,500.
It does seem like an oversight to me
Yeah.
in the program, but not a deal breaker. What I like to think about this in terms of its power, I think for the guy that buys this, guy or gal that buys this and drives it daily, it's never going to feel slow to them.
No.
In normal driving conditions, it probably feels more robust than the normally aspirated 4-cylinder would.
Around town, it's fine.
Totally fine.
Plenty of passing power.
Yeah, passing power, it's got enough as well.
I do wonder, because one of the things we've noticed on our drive today is, again, we've recently been in Accord, we've recently been in the K5, Camrys. You own an older, previous gen Accord.
I do, yeah, my wife has one. Yeah.
You're averaging what kind of mileage today?
25.6 and mixed driving.
25.6 in mixed driving, some city, some highway. We have, tested it a little bit, its capabilities.
Yeah, we've been redline a few times.
But, when I drove the Accord, I did the exact same thing, and I averaged about 33, 34. You know what it's time for?
Ooh, I think we do.
I think it's time for the Hipster Score.
Thank goodness. Countdown from 3, 2, 1.
Hang on.
Have you thought about this?
I've been trying to think about it all day long, and I can't figure it out. But I'm going to
I've got it nailed. I'm ready.
land on a number, and I'm ready.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
5.
5?
We're not far off.
Okay, so you did a 4 on a K5.
I did.
You're giving this a 5.
Which is mechanically is the same car.
Why'd you give it a 5 instead of a 4?
It
Because
gets-
4 is the right number. So
Well,
go ahead.
well,
You
hang
tell
on.
me-
I'll
You
tell
tell me
you-
why you're wrong. Go
I'll
ahead.
tell you why you're wrong. 2 points for being a car, not an SUV, not a gas guzzling truck.
Okay.
Right, just out of the gate, 2
Yeah.
points for being a car.
Yeah.
For existing.
Uh-huh.
With a primary function of moving people. That's it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
It gets another point for Apple CarPlay.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You got
Not Android Auto, but Apple CarPlay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
It gets another point for looking the way that it does.
Yes.
It looks funky.
No, it's funky, all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But as we've shown today, in the last couple hours, it's grown on us.
Yeah, it has.
But it does look bespoke. It doesn't look like you don't mistake this for an Altima. You don't mistake it for a Camry.
It doesn't blend in per se.
It doesn't blend in, but it's not. I don't know. It looks less crazy the more time I spend with it, and
Yeah.
it gets another point, a solid another point for this color.
Very fair point. I'm not gonna. You're not as wrong as you normally are. I'll say that.
Yes.
Okay. Not as wrong. You're getting better, but you're still not there.
Okay, explain to me why I'm not there.
Look, car. Actually, I can't. I'm not. These hipsters are crazy. I can't tell if car helps it or not.
Well, that's a good point because you have the whole can you go camping with it scenario.
So here's the deal. You can't necessarily overland or camp in this thing, or you can't do hashtag van life in this as well as you can in maybe a Santa Fe. Okay.
Fair point. Now this is Overland approved, barely.
It's overland approved, but just barely. Okay. You very good point. You do get points for the style and the color. That is good.
So you agree on that?
I think you also get points for the digital gauge cluster. I think hipsters like infotainment digital stuff.
Okay.
You definitely get a point
I
for
didn't consider that, so maybe it's a 6. You're right.
No, wrong. You definitely get a point for Apple CarPlay, maybe a half a point. However, it should get better gas mileage if it's a car. I think if it's a car like a hybrid Prius, you get really good points for the
Okay.
hipsters. But if you're a car and you're not getting the greatest gas mileage in the world, you lose a little points because otherwise, why not just get the Santa Fe and be able to do van life?
So what you're telling me is that if this were the hybrid version of the Sonata, it might be a 5 for you.
It might be a 5 or a 6, or if it was a Santa Fe, it'd be at least a 5 or a 6.
Because of its utilitarian.
Because it's more
aspect.
utility. Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
So anyways, I was right with the 4. You were wrong with 5. So
No.
So
This particular car is a 5 because of the color, largely the color,
Okay.
its interface.
Yeah.
I didn't consider the cluster, so maybe it's a 6. Maybe you're right.
okay, you're going the wrong direction.
Okay.
Okay. Who's this car for?
This car is for Mr. Businessman.
Mr. Businessman.
Yes.
Okay.
His name is Joe Businessman.
This is Mr. Businessman that can't afford a Mercedes.
Yet. So this is
Ooh.
mid-level management
Mm.
who isn't particularly a car person. This guy
Okay.
didn't grow up with a Countach on his wall.
Right?
He might be into sports. He might like to play hockey or something like that.
Might be in the design.
Might be into design. Might
Yeah.
appreciate design.
Appreciates design.
But
yeah.
he's working a blue-collar job.
Right.
And he has a commute of some sort.
Wants to be smart with his money.
He wants to be relatively frugal. He doesn't want to... Look, he may have a family on the way. He may
He has
already
a
have a
family.
family, right?
Yeah, maybe
He
not.
needs to haul the kids at least a couple times a week or maybe every day.
Go to lunch every now and then. Take somebody with him.
This will do it.
This will do it.
No one's going to look down on this and think, oh, we're paying Joe Businessman too much.
So-
and they're also going to say, interesting choice, Joe Businessman. This is not just in the court.
Who is this mid-size / large sedan for anymore? Who is that for? Why not get? Talk me into this over the crossover or the SUV.
I'll tell you, the midsize sedan,
Mm-hmm.
midsize sedan, is for intelligent people.
Oh, okay.
And what I'm getting
Coming
at,
in hot.
Coming in hot.
So if you
Okay,
go
wait.
ahead.
Let me break the down a little bit. Intelligent people that don't have to camp and don't live at Home Depot like a lot of people think they do.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah.
So a guy or gal that just needs to drive to work and be comfortable, this is going to drive better than the Santa Fe. I've driven the Santa Fe. It's not a bad crossover.
Yeah, no.
But it by its nature,
Yeah.
it's like the 3 Series versus the X5.
Yeah.
It's still not the same. The physics are the problem. This rides better.
Yeah.
Somehow these ride better than a lot of crossovers do.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
This thing rides great.
Rides great. It's very agreeable. It's very comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It gets better mileage than the Santa Fe.
Yeah.
And it handles better.
Yeah.
So, to me, the midsize sedan is an incredible value for money.
Mm-hmm.
Because to get a 25,000 or this is 29,000
29 sticker.
sticker,
I'm sure Charles Brockman will hook you up with a deal.
yes, he will. His link is in the description below. The problem with the crossover is, as stickered, this same vehicle is going to be low to mid 30s. So you're spending a little bit more to get that. And you're not really gaining off-road capability. You can
No.
maybe jump the curb at the mall if you have to.
If you don't need the higher hit point or the off-roady business,
Which, let's be honest,
which no crossover
no one
will
does
do.
anyways. Maybe
This-
snow, but...
I guess I applaud the manufacturers still making sedans, cars.
And all of them, more than just Hyundai and Kia. They're
Because
all still trying.
in the real world, like you said, going to work, commuting, taking someone to lunch occasionally, this thing works great.
It's phenomenal.
And by the way, if you want a little more utility, you can put a rack on here, a roof rack.
Totally.
It's easier to reach stuff because it's lower. Roof racks make more sense on a sedan than they do on a
Honestly,
crossover.
how many times do you see the Thule roof rack on Ford Escapes?
Yeah,
Just an example.
yeah,
All the time.
all the time.
You know what else those
You can't
bolt
reach
onto?
it. A car.
A car.
Put it on the car.
Have you ever put a bike on a roof rack?
You can make a sport utility car.
Exactly.
So,
Well, they do. It's called a Subaru Outback.
so we've just. Well, I guess what we're saying is buy an SUC, not an SUV.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. With that, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
So.
Wait. Don't
What?
forget to subscribe.
Yep. Ring the bell.
Ring the bell. If you like what you've
Yep.
seen, ring the bell.
Comment.
You'll get our newest stuff.
Good, bad, ugly,
Let us know below.
terrible, or bearable.
Could you? Yes, terrible.
Did I get it
Bearable.
right?
Yeah, you got it right.
I finally got it right.
I got the Hipster Score right. You got the Terrible Bearable right.
Yes.
If you're looking for a midsize sedan, is this color on your menu at all?
Why isn't it just unbearable or tolerable?
You're overthinking it too much. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to
Unbearable.
subscribe.
Unbearable.
See you next time.